So it's Renee. And as you all know, this used to be called Cancer Size with Renee B. And I started this, my husband told me to wash this counter before I started, and I didn't. Anywho. So this used to be Cancer Size with Renee B. And it was all workouts, right? All through chemotherapy, through all of my surgeries, all my recovery, even for a couple years after. So there's still all those exercise videos up there in the different playlists. And lots of that is still in there. But I am currently changing things in my life, and part of that journey is eating whole food, plant-based. I became a holistic nutritionist through AFPA like a month ago, and it has changed my life. It's changed my life. Now, did I do it 100%? Did I just throw everything out the door? Of course not. So I call it whole foodish and imperfect wholeness, all right? So my intention is to gradually become more whole food plant-based because of learning about how nutrition and plants can heal you, right? God designed nature to heal us, and it's been doing that for centuries. We've lost sight of that. When you think about what your great-grandparents used to eat, if you're my age, if you're much younger than me, then think great-great-grandparents, okay? But my great-grandparents, there's a lot of stuff that they would find in the grocery store today that they wouldn't recognize as ingredients or food, right? So anyway, with that said, as I keep learning and growing, I wanted to bring you along that journey, right? So imperfect wholeness is basically the journey of learning to become whole food plant-based. It's not perfect. It's an ish that's an ish, right? Like, I have no intention at this point in my life to give up cheese. I still use creamer with dairy-based creamer in my coffee. This is a judgment-free zone, but the goal is to have way less processed foods, to cut out salt, to cut out oil, okay? Oil is a huge inflammatory, and it is so overly processed, and I never really thought about it, but you're better off eating the plain olive or the soybean than having the soybean oil or even the olive oil, which is totally opposite of what everybody tries to tell you is healthy, right? Okay, so with that said, I did go to a what's called Dinner with the Doctor, and I was invited through a Facebook group that I joined here locally, and about whole food plant-based, right? Because you always want to get that support and be around like-minded people, and so Facebook has that opportunity. Social media gives you that opportunity to find groups like that. So it's great. Well, they actually did a dinner, and all the food was cooked for you, and they did dinner from the Blue Zones Kitchen book, recipe book. And the Blue Zones, I've talked about that on my Facebook page and my Instagram page, Imperfect Wholeness, and we talked about the Blue Zones and what those are, but basically it's where they found the longest living people. And so that's when they started researching. The guy had a blue highlighter. When he would find a city, he would circle it, and that's why it's called the Blue Zones. But they interviewed and studied these people for years and years and years about the longevity and why they can live to be centenarians, okay? I mean, 100 or plus. And there was basic foods that were in general, like beans and whole grains, were very, very key parts of it. They were mostly whole plant-based foods, okay? Some like Mediterranean, like Greece, they have a little bit of salmon, a little bit of olive oil. Other places, you know, but it is. So anyway, so I went to dinner with a doctor. It's an actual full-on doctor who was sharing the benefits of a whole food plant-based and how to identify what a whole food is. But then there was this whole league of women who made all these foods. It was like family style, and we were sitting at a round table with strangers, and big bowls of all this food come out, and it was really cool because they included recipes, but I have also ordered the cookbook. So today what we're going to do is called Loma Linda Coconut Chia Pudding, because it was really good. I liked it. I'm making some alterations though, because this is what I have in the house, and I'm not going to go buy stuff. I'm just going to use what I have. And that's the other thing about ish, whole food-ish, imperfect, right? It's like you can, I don't know, let's just change the recipe up as we go, right? So that's what I'm doing. So Loma Linda is in California, and it is one of also the Blue Zones, which is fascinating. And it's because that's where the foundation of the Seventh-day Adventist Church started, and the Seventh-day Adventists, which I did not know this, but they're primarily vegetarian. And you would think, being a huge diehard Gilmore Girls fan, I would have put that together, but I just assumed it was because Lynn's mom liked tofu. So I never realized it was because it was her religion. So anyway, Loma Linda has a huge part of that, and so they have a lot of longevity there. Really interesting and fascinating, if you ask me. But, so this is the Loma Linda Coconut Chia Pudding. Renee doesn't have any coconut cream, and I don't have any coconut milk. So it says here, it says, hey, if you're watching your fat intake, which I really am not, but reduce the amount of coconut or just use a plain plant-based milk. So we drink almond milk here, have for a very long time, years and years. And then it says, so reduce the liquid to 1.5 cups to maintain consistency. So that's what I have here is 1.5 cups of almond milk. And then it says 3 tablespoons of agave nectar. I don't have agave nectar. I do, however, have Superfoods honey from Beekeepers Naturals. Highly recommend this company to look at. I use their bee pollen every day. And I use propolis spray, nootropic royal jelly as well for my brain health, which I probably should have done that before this because I would have been speaking a lot sharper. Finally, ground lemon zest. So I have an organic lemon that I've also washed, and a 1/2 cup of chia seeds. So it says to whisk the coconut cream and coconut milk. Oh, I need a lip whisk. Aha! Whisk. So whisk together the coconut cream and coconut milk, which, as you all know, I'm just going to use almond milk because that's what I have. Well, so we'll see. This may not set up the same way. Who knows? And then the agave nectar, I'm using honey, and it says 3 tablespoons full. This is probably going to take too long to get this out of here, so I'm probably going to 3 tablespoons of honey or agave nectar or whatever. So there's definitely some sweetness in this, right? Because this is a dessert. It's just a healthier choice for a dessert, and we're making it from scratch, and we're making it from whole ingredients. This is real honey. This is not manufactured honey. You got to be really careful because honey is one of those things that have been manufactured. They got sued, in fact, like years ago because they found out that it was just like corn syrup with brown flavor or coloring in it. So be very careful about your honey. Again, if you're using any type of peel and you're going to eat your peel, I highly recommend, even if it's organic, that you do scrub it up really well, okay? That's why they recommend that apples always be organic, because you're eating the peel so much, and they tend to hold on to a lot of the whatever chemicals they might have been sprayed with. Trying, you know, okay, this is gross. Okay, and then, it's okay. Oh my gosh, and I got to wash my hands because my fingers are sticky and that grosses me out. I'm a weirdo about that. I never even gave my kid, when he was a year old, I didn't want to give him a birthday cake because I didn't want to have to clean the stickiness off of his face. So my mom had to do it. I'm a weirdo about sticky hands. Okay, so then it says a 1/2 teaspoon of finely grated zest. I don't have a microplane or anything, so I don't even know how to tell if it's like way finely shredded. Am I doing this on the right side? Yeah, I guess so. I don't even know if this is a zester, to be honest. I just look like it would work as a zester. Clearly not even close to 1/2 teaspoon, so apparently I need to zest this whole lemon to get a 1/2 teaspoon. But one of the studies I did, they talk about the zest of your citrus, like your oranges and your lemons, have so much power in them to help. Oh my gosh, and I can smell it. It smells amazing. But adding a little bit of lemon juice to your food or zest or whatever actually brightens it up and makes like everything pop, okay? Yeah, no, it's not even close to 1/2 teaspoon, so I probably would have been better off just trying to grate it over the milk. I don't know. Anyway, when we went to this dinner with the doctor, they also showed a demonstration of making whipped cream with cashews. That was kind of cool. It was cashews and maple syrup and something else. I don't know. She just dumped a whole bunch of stuff in. But I did order the book, and when I was talking to my girlfriend Bree, I told her about it, and she ordered the book. So I read one of the books I read was by Dr. Greger about how not to die and about how different foods can help you with your nutrition and like asthma and stuff like that. And okay, so now let's see. It's only 4 ingredients at this point, right? Because I got rid of the coconut cream in the milk. So half a cup chia seeds. Chia seeds are amazing. They've got like 6 grams of protein per serving. People always say, oh, you go vegetarian, where do you get your protein from? Same places the animals get their protein from. The whole foods they're eating, but whatever. So, okay. Half a cup. Now I'm gonna whisk. It says whisk. Oh, this is why my son always makes fun of me because I don't read the directions very well. I was supposed to whisk the milk, the honey, and lemon together and then pour it over the chia seeds instead of dumping the chia seeds in. It's okay. It's imperfect wholeness, right? We're trying. That's all we can do is try, right? So, and I'm sure it'll mix together just fine. Yeah, we're gonna go with that. So, it's not trying to get that honey all blended in to give it that sweetness. When I told my husband about the pudding, he was like, oh, was it like the tapioca? I'm like, yeah, kind of in a way. But it was really good, except for they did theirs with the coconut cream and stuff. And then by the time, all the guests arrived and they put it out, it was super, super thick. Like, you took the spoon out, you could barely get it out of there. You had to use like teaspoons to try to scoop it off. But I think some of the fact is the fact that they cooked a lot of the food ahead of time because there was a lot of food they cooked and it was just donations. So I donated to help, offset some of the cost because there was probably 50 of us there and they fed all of us and there was a ton of leftovers. So, all right. So now it says cover with plastic wrap. Let's sit until thickened at least 40 minutes or overnight in the refrigerator. So I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to pop it in the fridge for at least 40 minutes, and then I'll come back and I'll film the rest, and then I'll try to edit this, even though I have no idea how to do that, but I'm going to try to edit it all together and upload it to the page, which we like. All right, bye.